Hey everyone, Eric here from Flyin Miata. Thanks for joining us for another FM Live. Today we've got something fun to do. We're going to talk to Matt about his Miata. So Matt, let's start with the basics. Year, make, model, what kind of Toyota is this?
Sure, Eric. Yeah. Let's see, it's a 94 M Edition. It's a beautiful cream puff, excellent paint, low mileage.
Original owner?
Original owner, back to forth to Sunday school, that type of car here.
So I'm noticing that the paint kind of has a cloud pattern to it. Is that original from the factory?
I did that special just to give it that classic antique look.
Yeah, and the areas that look like some kind of animal is dripped on it, is that also factory?
That might have just happened at lunch. Yeah.
So I understand you've done some modifications to this. I mean, you work at Flyin Miata, so there must be some things on this car.
Yeah, and you know, no guess to anyone here, it's probably most FM products here. So
I'd say so.
The first things off is what it's sitting on. We have a Fox suspension, and it's kind of in its winter mode still. So I have some probably not the best wheel and tire package that you guys have ever seen. But with the Fox suspension, I am able to raise the car up probably 14 and a half inches for some nice wintry road conditions. And
yeah, so 14 measuring from the center of the wheel.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so that's a little above, or close to, or maybe even a little above stock ride height.
Yeah.
A little extra clearance for those snow drifts.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. That's how I lost my back trunk lip was at a snow track event.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I got a little bit stuck, and that's not the best thing to push off of.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so Fox suspension. What else is going on with the suspension?
That's
Sway bars?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, front and rear FM sway bars. I have them set to a little bit of a loose suspension or loose setting now. And what else? Suspension.
What's going on? I see. Are those Willwoods? Are those factory?
I did do the upgrade Dyna Pro, not the Dyna Lights, because I do some track events, and that allows me to have a little bit more clamping force on the front calipers there. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, how about interior stuff? Got some nice window tint going on, so we can't really see what's in there.
A few little minor things that I'm sure all you Miata folks are aware of. Let's see. The obvious are the NB seats and steering wheel. I believe they're Gen 1 on the NBs. I did do a foamectomy, and on the driver's side, since I'm a little bit taller, I like to sit low in the car. I went ahead and removed the rear factory attachment points and have my seat rails all the way attached to the floor pan. It was pretty much a huge pain, but it gives me my head clearance that I like, and it was worth it to me.
So you got, let's see here, pretty run-of-the-mill boost gauge, oil pressure.
Correct.
Looks like you did some mods to the center console, give yourself a little bit more room there.
Yeah, I didn't like having to, because I am a taller person, have to get my arm back so far to raise and lower the windows, so I did an aftermarket switch on this little cluster that I made up under the radio there.
Yeah. What roll bar are you sporting?
That is our Hard Dog double diagonal with some padding.
Nice. So this thing's pretty quick.
Yeah, this is a bit, if you guys can't see real well, it's a bit of a sleeper car. My sarcasm earlier was on the paint, so hopefully that's a little bit more clear with some better video there. So yeah, we can take a look.
Well, when I'm opening the hood, I'm getting a signal that there's a question that's popped up.
How many miles are on the car?
Well, I was off a few digits. Oh, I didn't tell you. Just over probably 220,000.
On the chassis.
True. This is correct. And that will lead us into the engine. I did do a build probably a few years ago. Forged internals are turbo Wiseco pistons. I think those are 9-to-1 ratio. The head stayed in A, but I did do a valve train swap from an NB because I had the very irritating in a lifter tick, and I got tired of messing around with that, so I just swapped the internals of the NB valve train. We have a slight compensator here. This is how poor of a driver I am. I have to have a larger turbo than most to help me out. I did a custom heat shield because I wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess at the time we didn't have a heat shield for the external wastegate.
That is correct. Yeah.
So, okay, so that is a giant turbo. It's about the size of my head. You've got a 2-liter stroker built engine in it. What do you think the horsepower levels are in this thing?
I did a dyno shortly after I built it, and with an E85 fuel, I'm just right at 400 at the wheels. So,
wow.
So it's a nice quick package. So.
Okay. What else FM is going on under here? Maybe your cooling system?
Our standard cross flow with, I believe that's going to be a stage 1 cooling fans, possibly stage 2.
And that does the trick for you daily?
It does. I only see if it's over 100 degrees on our track. I can still make our 5 lap session with no problem. If you start to go 10 laps, then I do have to let it cool off a little bit. But with all the ponies under there, that's kind of expected. So
yeah. Okay. Looks like a Moroso air oil separator.
with all good turbo builds, you definitely need a catch can to catch the excessive blow by that occurs.
Right.
Yeah.
And those spark plug coils don't look standard either. Are those?
Yeah. Happens to be our big spark kit. Yeah, and that leads me into where I am running an FM or a Hydra Nemesis 2.7. So that's able to control all the ponies under the engine and make everything have a good AFR. So.
Okay, so in this car sees all kinds of action. I mean, you drive it to work, you run errands in it, I'm sure. You go to the ice track with it,
Yeah.
race track with it, drag strip with it, and then drive it home again, and it's reliable.
That's correct. Yeah, the Hydra does a great job on daily driving with the standalone ECU. Startups are great. Have no issues. Just rear tires seem to be always on the thin side for some reason. So.
All right, let's take a pause and see if we've got any more questions.
What clutch and flywheel?
Excellent question.
So the question is, what clutch and flywheel is in the car?
Yeah, I went with our stage 1 just because of a couple reasons. I liked the lighter clutch pedal, and I also went with a Willwood Master instead of stock. I increased the Master bore slightly, but with the stage 2, it was too much pedal pressure for me. So that's why I went with our stage 1. Like Eric said earlier, I do drag the car occasionally. I take it to our local track more frequently, and honestly, I haven't had any clutch issues. So.
Wow, fantastic.
What weight's that flywheel, Matt?
That is our lighter weight, which is
10.3.
That is correct. Yep. Yeah. A little bit more on the drivetrain. I did upgrade to a 6-speed, and the 410 or 11M rear end, I went instead with a 3.6. So that helps me out.
Okay.
On
363
that conversion there. So gets
Very
me back
nice.
down to the standard 5-speed ratio.
Fantastic. Well, awesome. Thanks so much for showing this to us, Matt.
Yeah.
We're all, in some ways, a little bit jealous of this car because it's a really fantastic build, lots of power, all the goodies you could think of, and some of us are pretty big fans of the fact that it's such a sleeper and doesn't really look the part. But man, it gets the job done. Any more questions before we finish up here? Okay. Well, thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to give us a like on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be back again next week at 2 o'clock. Thanks a lot.